everyone, my name is Tori and I'm a current graduate student in the Teammate program at Tarleton State University. For this assignment, I will be discussing the BDA strategy that I plan on incorporating into my biology high school classroom this fall. The BDA technique is a useful strategy to get students actively involved with the reading they are expected to complete during class hours. Today we will be looking at the KWL chart, stick it to the facts, and the sum it up strategies. The KWL chart is a method used to help guide students while they are reading a text, and I think it's a helpful tool in the science classroom. This chart is split up into 3 columns, but for the purpose of a BDA strategy, we will only be utilizing the first 2 columns for the before portion of the strategy. The first column represents what we already know about the topic. As a teacher, I would introduce the topic being discussed, for example, mitosis, as seen on the screen that I will show right away. And the students will write everything that they can think of that they already know about the topic. Students may need a helping hand in this process to get their thought processes started, so write the facts down for the class as they discuss their prior knowledge. Some examples of this could include cell division, chromosomes separate, and how organisms make more cells. In the next column, students will write down questions or facts that they would like to know. As a teacher, have a set of questions that you know that you want them to figure out from the reading, and you can interject your ideas if students seem to be struggling to come up with questions. Some of these questions can include, why is mitosis important? How does mitosis work? How long does it take? And more importantly, come up with some good essential questions to add in there. The great thing about this instructional reading strategy is that students are given the time to reflect on their prior knowledge and then take that knowledge and delve into what their interests are to determine their set of questions in the second column. As a teacher, I can assess what the students have already learned in previous classes to change my lessons accordingly. I can also look at their interests and try to incorporate that into my future lessons and labs. Another great aspect of this strategy is that it gives the students a purpose for reading the text. If they have 10 questions from the second column, they should try to answer those questions based on their readings. By keeping these questions in mind, the students are also monitoring their comprehension of the topic. Stick it to the facts is essentially the sticky note strategy, but I dubbed it stick it to the facts, or stick to the facts, because it sounds a little bit more fun. Since my biology classroom uses interactive notebooks, I think it's important to give students something different to look at rather than just worksheets and graphic organizers. So as students complete the reading, they will write the important facts and the answers to their questions from the second column of the KWL onto sticky notes and place them into their interactive notebooks. I suggest the students to consider drawing little diagrams or cycles to help further their understanding. The main purpose of this is so that students can have a visual representation of what they just read. However, this is also helpful because it takes place of highlighting or writing in the margins of it. The final process is the sum it up, which is where you summarize everything that you just read. Summarizing is a very important tool for students to learn because it helps students see the bigger picture of the topic being discussed or read. So the main ideas and essential details are captured during this process, and in turn the students will be building their comprehension skills. Students will be given a flashcard to write the summary down on and hand it in at the end of the class for an assessment. Once they are returned to the students, they will make a great study tool later on. To complete the final stage of the BDA strategy, students have to ask themselves, what were the main ideas from the text I just read? Were there essential details that I need to know? And is there any information that isn't important from what I just read? It's important to keep in mind that we want the students to focus on the key details, include the vocabulary words that were of greatest importance, break down the big topics into smaller components, and write the gist of the text, not everything. So we don't want them to highlight everything that they're reading. So those are the three components of the BDA that I will be incorporating into my biology classroom this fall. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from all of you, and thank you so much for listening.